Singer, Daddy Singer, how are you? I am here, how do you do? Mommy Singer,